Welcome back to another edition of the Sophia D Radio Show. This is our at home edition. We have a very special guest. Didn't expect to continue our 10-year anniversary like this, but we are definitely going to talk about some new things that we've never talked about on the show before. So I want to welcome back a favorite guest and not a stranger to the show, but that's the wonderful TyQuian English. Welcome back.
Buddy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
Good. You look good. Everything's going good. How are you surviving quarantine?
Oh, I'm making it one day at a time. But I'm surviving. I was keeping the mask on deck just in case. You never know.
Yeah, just in case. And you're still working every day?
No, I'm not. I'm quarantining. I'm actually quarantining most of the time. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, Typhon, we're going to turn the subject to a situation you were involved in. And I want you to tell me and our listeners what happened to you the day of June 1st. So what was your plans and then what happened?
All right, June 1st, it started out with a photo shoot. It was I was with Adam Black and a couple of models. We did a women's empowerment photo shoot in Fountain Inn.
Okay.
And after that, I planned on going home. But my dad called me. He was like, hey, I need those Christmas photos you got. You still never sent them to me. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm sending it to you. So I got ready and I had to drive through downtown Spartanburg, to get to my to see my dad, meet up with him. And I ran into the protest. And I was like, I didn't know there was a protest happening in Spartanburg at that time. So I had the camera. I decided to go out there, get some footage and, take some pics. And I was out there I joined in with the protest. I ended up getting a poster and everything. And so I never really planned on protesting that day. It was crazy.
It just happened. So I want to set the record straight, Tyquan. You have never ever been to jail before. You've never had a criminal background or anything, correct?
Oh no, never been to jail. Never had a criminal background. I was bad in school a little bit, elementary school,
but never to the point that the police was involved.
No, never to that point.
So that night when you were protesting, and according to the reports and the Spartanburg citizens or residents that were out there, everyone said it was peaceful. So what was the turning point for it to not be so peaceful to where the police had to arrest you and two other people?
Well, when I was out there, it was peaceful the whole entire time. It's just once the crowd started to die down and everything, and like they noticed like a certain amount of people wasn't actually going to go home, I felt like that they enacted the ordinance, the curfew, just so they can scare people into going home.
But this ordinance, and if I'm correct, this is the mayor that implemented the ordinance. Did this happen while y'all were protesting?
Yes, the ordinance came into effect exactly at 10:40, I think. And
still out protesting at 10:40.
Yeah, and I think by 10:45 or 10:50, I was arrested and in jail by 11 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because you were out past curfew and you were not aware ahead of time that there was going to be a curfew.
Well, they told us while we was out there, but I'm like, how can y'all enact the curfew right now at this moment? Like, I would have understood, like, if ahead of time early that day, they would have said, all right, there's going to be a curfew in effect at 7. And so make sure y'all are not out in the streets. But it wasn't nothing like that. It was just, oh, there's protesters out there. Let's enact the curfew. Hopefully they'll go home and that'll be it. But I fought against it because I felt like it was unjust. I felt like they used the ordinance to silence protesters, to take away my First Amendment rights.
Yes. So how was the interaction with you and the arresting officer?
It was peaceful for the most part. Like, it wasn't, well, I wasn't saying anything the whole entire time, to be honest. I was quiet the whole time. Even when like we were protesting, I was a quiet protester. But the officer, he said that he didn't want to arrest us for exercising our First Amendment rights, but he was under orders, so he didn't have a choice.
Right.
You kind of can see how politicians and people in power can use the police as a fear tactic or
Yes.
strong arm to enforce unjust laws.
Yes. Okay. So do you think June 1st is the day that your life changed?
I don't think my life has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I think, how can I put this?
Did it just kind of spark a different fire for you?
I believe that fire always has been there.
Mm-hmm.
This June 1st gave me the opportunity to actually see it within myself and for
Yes.
others. So but I don't think I've changed or anything. I'm just gonna be the same person. If I feel strong about something, I'm gonna voice my opinion, and I have the right to do so, and no one has the authority to stop me.
Do you think your arrest is another example of why the Black Lives Matter movement is important?
I do, but I think it's more about what powers do those in like public office, like what kind of powers do they actually have? Do they hold the power to take away rights whenever they want to?
Mm-hmm.
And like, if they have that power, who are the people to be the subject of that power? Mostly it's the Black community or low-income whites or any
Right.
other. So we are the ones that's going to feel the blunt of that force.
Right.
And I feel like that's unchecked power.
Do you consider yourself an activist now?
Most people would consider me an activist now, and I feel like I have to step in that role now. Like, I have no choice. I wouldn't say label myself as an activist, but like, ever since I was arrested, like, people look up to me. They look to me to say certain things or to do certain things or to move a certain way.
Yeah.
And me, as I don't see it as activism, but other people, by actions,
Yeah.
kind of make it seem like I'm an activist. So I guess I am. I guess I am.
Do you think your dad had to call you for a specific reason just for this moment to happen?
Yeah, I think it's no coincidence that everything happened the way it did. It's just, I think it was meant for me to be out there at that particular time and that day and to run in with those particular cops. One thing about Spartanburg, like, well, I would say within the city limits at least, that we can have some dialogue with the cops and it not turn violent. But like New York and Minneapolis and other places in the country is not always like that.
Right.
So we are, as a city, we're pretty good and going in the right direction.
Yeah, and I was talking to some other broadcasters in the area that I'm very familiar with. And, one thing we said, we think the reason why we could probably have peaceful protests in the upstate area is we are definitely growing in the upstate region, but we're still so small that we really kind of know everybody, or somebody you're with knows someone. And, if we see somebody do something wrong, um, we will tell the right people, because the thing is, we've worked hard to see our cities grow
Mm-hmm.
how they're growing, and we all enjoy going to those places, if it's, for dinner, lunch, or, just to the bar to hear live music, or even just to go shopping. And we don't want to see our city, tear down, because we know how hard our small businesses have had to work in the area just to get us where we are right now.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So I want to turn it a little bit, because, although that you were arrested for peaceful protesting, um, someone came and helped your case, and that's attorney Monir Abusaf.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he, how was that interaction with him helping you out with your case?
Well, I was the one that actually reached out to him. Um,
Okay.
I seen, I was planning on voting for him before all
Mhm.
this happened. So, like, I was the whole week, you know, of my arrest after I got out and everything. I was thinking, I was like, all right, I need a lawyer and everything. I had a couple people reach out to me and everything, but like something in my spirit told me to go with Mo. So
Okay.
I didn't know if he was gonna take my case, because he had a campaign that he was running, and I know that takes a lot of energy and effort. So
Right.
only thing I had to do was ask, and once I asked and reached out, he said he would love to take my case.
I like how you said that, because a lot of people, young people, they are afraid to ask. And, I've always heard the old folks say, if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Yeah, it's true. If I didn't ask him, I would have never knew I would have never knew that he would take my case and go hard. Like Mo went hard for me, probably harder than I went for myself. So that was pretty cool.
TyQuian, we're going to change the subject a little bit. We're going to talk about, what you do in the community. So your platforms are photography, videography, you do a lot of songwriting,
Uh-huh.
you do a lot of producing. With all of these things you have been through the last month and a half, is your platform going to change some?
Uh, I don't think it is, because what my message has kind of been consistent throughout years. I say 4 years. My message in my art and my work has been consistent about what's going on already. So I don't think I'm going to change at all.
Good, good. I like how you've been very grounded in this whole journey.
Yeah, it's like my first interaction with the cops and everything. Like I thought I would be scared, be fearful, and everything, but like once I got arrested, it's like I had this good feeling that come over me, like everything is gonna be okay. Like I'm
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
and like I still feel that way. I still feel like I'm good. Like as long as I keep my head up and do the right things for my
that's
people,
right.
I'm gonna be all right.
That's right. And I agree with you, because, when we first heard about it, I even told you, we were talking on the phone back in June. I said, when did TyQuian start getting in trouble? Like, this is the most quietest person I know. Like,
Uh,
I've bullied TyQuan. TyQuan doesn't do anything. He's just a peaceful, laid back person. Like, what is going on? And so, when we were on the phone talking, I said, okay, I can kind of see why, but I'm like, this is not the guy that anybody should arrest. Or I could be biased. I don't know.
well, I mean, I don't give a threatening vibe off. Like I bring
Never.
I bring good energy with me everywhere I go because I want people to
Always.
have energy. So,
Yeah,
you
you
know, but
always do.
when it's time to stand up for what's right, you know, I will stand up. And
Yes,
I
and you just
opinion.
will.
Now I would, you know, I would be out there. I would get arrested for the right cause.
That's right. I love it. With all the injustice that's going on, and we have the whole coronavirus, and um, we're seeing some voting issues going on. What advice can you give someone our age and younger um, that are able to voice their opinion?
I would say go to the city council meetings and
Mm-hmm.
like pay attention to what they're saying in the city council meetings and the county council meetings, and pay attention to who basically runs the city, like who's in charge and who's who in the political realm within the city. Like if you can identify who runs what and who does what, then and solve that issue. So like just really keep your eyes open in your community and know what's going on politically and you know, around you, so you can make the right votes. If you need to vote, that's especially in the community, like local elections, you got to make sure you vote because like this is going to affect us a little bit more than the presidential election. I
Yes,
would say. Now the presidential election is important, but the local elections are the most important to us right now.
yes, yes. TyQuian, are you voting November 3rd?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm voting too. Yes, and I'm voting hard. I'm bringing, look, I'm gonna be petty. I'm carrying all my ancestors with me.
I'm not voting for Kanye West.
He came to Charleston and showed out. TyQuan. What?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Who let him wear this security vest?
I don't know. South Carolina's ballot though.
Yeah, but then you announce it so late, like you can't just say I'm running for president, and then you want somebody to write you in. No, I don't. Oh, I guess you'll do anything to make a dollar, won't you?
Anything for attention.
Yes, thirsty.
Super thirsty. I don't know.
Before we go, TyQuan, what was your reaction when the city of Spartanburg approved the Black Lives Matter mural on West Broad Street?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised, almost shocked, and I was out there. I went out there. I actually, you know, helped the mad artist out
Yes,
with
yes,
his painting, and like I felt it's great. It sends a great message to everyone in the community that we are welcome here, and this is a safe haven for
yes,
every black person in America,
yeah,
in the area. And like it's kind of crazy because you know the Ku Klux Klan has been in Pauline not too long ago, and they
yeah,
had marches that's like really close by. It's in Spartanburg County, so
yeah.
for the city of Spartanburg to do that is very powerful and sends a very powerful message. And
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate it.
And didn't it just seem so peaceful
Yeah,
while the artists were? It was just like black, whites, Hispanic, Latinos. It's just like we're all a family.
I mean we are, and we got to recognize that if we don't get along, that the world is gonna collapse around us. Like everything that's happening right now is kind of crazy because got the coronavirus going on. All right, police unjustly killing black people. Black people are getting killed on video, and it's getting shown around the world. and globalized. So people are getting used to it and numb to the death of Black men and women. But like it's the climate that we are in right now is so crazy, because the world right now, like the climate of the world right now is very bad. And if we don't get that, like if we don't come together as a community and as a people, then we could be in very bad shape soon. So that's very important.
Yeah. TyQuian, I want to personally thank you for coming back. I hate it was under these circumstances, but I'm glad you're doing well. You look good.
Thank you. You look good too.
And you're always welcome to come back.
I appreciate you, because we as a people need this platform. And the way the news media handled the whole situation was kind of crazy. So I appreciate you for inviting me on and letting me talk and give my side of the story and really show people who I am. I appreciate it.
And you are so welcome on the Sophia D Radio Show. And before we go, we are going to show you a clip of me performing Sojourner Truth. Get to know her, Sojourner Truth. She was a women's activist on ending slavery and promoting women to have the right to go vote. So I ask that you will watch this beautiful piece, and don't forget to wash your hands, practice good hygiene.
Hold on, I got some Lysol in here. Where is it?
And be kind to one another, and always remember, if no one's ever told you that they love you, just know your girl Sophia D loves you. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about? That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns. No man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I could work as much and eat as much as a man when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head, this thing they call it intellect. That's it, honey. What does that have to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights? If my cup won't hold but a pint and yours holds a quart, wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? Then that little man in black says, women can't have as much rights as men, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women ought to be able to get it back and turn it right side up again. And now they is asking to do it. The men better let them. Obliged to you hearing me. And now old Sojourner ain't got nothing more to say.